Welcome to today's episode of We Stand Together at the Multicultural studio. Today we have a special guest with us, Joanne Nimik. Joanne, let's introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Joanne Nimik. My spirit name is Gamasaganui Dem. That's translated as Flying Eagle Woman from the Bear Clan, and I'm an intergenerational survivor. Everybody has a story, you know. Some of them are really painful and hurting, and they got a lot in there, you know. I can remember I asked my mom if she could teach me the language, and there was no response. And she's a residential school survivor, and I didn't understand at the time why there was no response, no yes, no, nothing, right? But I do now is, you know, as an example with the 215, that's when she felt safe enough to start opening up and sharing some of what she went through. And it was hard to hear, right? To sit there and to allow her to have that safe space to open up and trust us. And know that she was going to be safe and that she wasn't going to be, you know, her own way of processing that trauma. And you know, just giving her the time and space and the ear and the respect to be able to do that. So it's a little bit at a time. Everybody heals in their own way.
A lot of Canadians don't understand that genocide in Canada is ongoing. It hasn't stopped. It's a continuity of the genocide of Indigenous peoples. What advice or what can you tell Canadians to help them understand and have more compassion about the fact that there is an ongoing genocide right here in Canada?
I think we've already started. We've been doing this for quite a while, and the stories are starting to come up. You know, people are now listening. People want to learn. They want to support. They don't know how to support. It's going to be a process. We're taking steps in order to try to educate people and create that awareness on what people live through. That's a story in itself, right? The life experiences, you know, your grandmothers and grandfathers went through, right? And then trying to reclaim and reconnect to yourself, your identity, your people, you know, the land, the medicines, the teachings. It's all around us, you know, and you know, language is the key, right? For myself, I'm learning a little bit here and there, you know, and there's different ways to learn, right? We all have to recognize that and acknowledge it. You know, sometimes folks don't have the opportunity to actually sit physically with an elder from their community or from their family and learn. So we're creating new opportunities in different ways and different styles of learning, which I think is more open and more inviting, right? We don't have that luxury to go back home to our reserves and go sit and learn the language or learn teachings or share stories with the elders, because they are passing on, right? So I think that a lot of folks are trying to look, research, and claim that we have to, because, you know, I have grandchildren. I want to be able to share my story, but also my mom's story, and my dad's story, and my siblings, and that, you know, and knowing that the systems are set up for us to have a hard time navigating, you know, even with, you know, there's CFS, there's the legal system, the justice system, you know, there's so many systems out there that we're starting to educate ourselves and to learn how to navigate those systems, and, you know, and then we can have you know, help other people go through that if they find themselves in that situation.
Do you think that Canada is doing enough to undo what it's done to our people? And if not, what do you think that Canada needs to do better to make sure that they're answering to our calls to action as Indigenous peoples in Canada?
Stop making excuses. Okay. The government has this power and control that they've wielded for such a long time, and we've allowed that. And now that we're saying, hey, that's not right, that's, you know, we need to make change, we need to stop this, right? So there's a lot of people that are sitting up and taking notice. They're listening, they're paying attention, they're standing up, they're protesting, they're walking, they're marching, they're, you know, when you talk about, we're fighting for our land, we're fighting for our rights, we've been fighting for so long, right? But a lot of times it was hidden. Now it's out there, and you see us, right? Saying, no, we're not putting up with this. We're fighting for, you know, safe and clean drinking water. How many reserves have boil water advisories? You know, water is free. That is a gift that we've been given. Our land, the land that you walk on, is ours to take care of, and we've been trying to do that for such a long time. And people are starting to now be like, okay, they mean business, and we do, because we don't have any choice, right? We have to shake things up and get, you know, wake people up and let them listen and hear. Like, this is the critical point. Like, you know, pollution, the land, the air, the water. These are natural resources that were given to us, and we're trying to take care of them. And you have systems and companies, and it's all about that money exchange. We didn't have that money exchange. We did trading, you know, and we always looked out and took care of ourselves and others. We shared, you know, we still do that, but in a different, I guess, in a different context, right? You know, there's more and more people that are learning about what was done to us and understanding that generational impact that it has to do with, you know, the residential, day school, 60s, millennial scoop, CFS, MMMIWG. You know, when you think about the traumas, these have all impacted me. Okay, my mother and dad are a residential school. My sister is day school. I'm a 60 scooper. I've been involved with CFS, so have my children. My children would be considered millennial scoop, and then MMMIWG2S. I have family members that have lost their lives, right, due to racism and, you know, all of that comes into play, the violence, the domestic violence, dealing with justice system and the police. You know, so I identify, when you think about that long history there, that chain of events, you know, I've been a part of that in one way or another. It has affected me. It affects my children. It affects my grandchildren. So I know that I can recognize in that it's time for me to do something about it, because it's not going to change. It won't change overnight. It's going to take time. But you know, as long as you start and you do something, you know, even if you learn, you know, a few of your words, or you go to a sharing circle, or you're able to attend a ceremony, or you're able to access and talk with other people in your community, you know, there's always going to be some way of you wanting to have the connection, you know, going out into the land, going into the bush, you know, looking for opportunity to have ceremony. You know, when you think about it, you're already in ceremony with your voice, with what you see, with what you hear, with what you touch, right? You are a part of that land. You are medicine. You are part of that water. You're part of that sky. All those teachings that we have, that's your connection. You know, when you learn your language and you learn how to say your name, that's for you. That's you. That's your identity. And you reclaim that, and you take your power back. After all of that they've tried to take away from us, we're coming back for everything. You know, and it's just a matter of time. We're fighting. You know, we have no choice but to fight, and we've been fighting this whole time. And we're happy and glad when people want to learn, right? Because you're creating that awareness, not only for yourself, for your neighbor, for your you know, the person across the street, different systems. You know, we're getting in there, and we've been teaching you all along. We've been teaching, we've been sharing, we've been kind, we've been tolerant, we've been patient, but now it's time to do something. You know, we need to get active, and we need to learn and do research, and to stand up and have our voice be heard, because there's people out there that cannot walk away from the truth. That's our truth, that the Bewewin, right? We've always had that, those teachings. It's just a matter of us creating that time and that space to go out and look for them, and to take them, and to make them yours. And however that comes across, you're sending messages every time that you walk. You know, you're sending messages to Mother Earth when you walk. You know, we are medicine. You are medicine. You know, and we need to believe that again. That's ours. We haven't lost it. It's still there. It's like when we, you know, you talk about blood memory. That's it. It comes up, and you're like, oh, where have I heard that before? Or, you know, there's that connection, because it's there. It's always going to be there. You know, when you think about, there was something I learned the other day about when you have a child, those cells are shared amongst the mother and the child, right? So your child will always have a piece of you, and you'll always have a piece of your child with you, and that'll keep going. And that's how we can preserve, and we have that blood memory that'll continue on long after we're gone. That's our medicine. That's our healing.
Yeah, so, you know, you talked a lot about healing and culture, reconnection, reclamation. What would you say for other First Nation people like yourself who've been through what you have been through and are seeking that reclamation of their culture and language? What advice would you give them?
Well, for myself, I just did it myself. Like through my work, I had that curiosity. I wanted to know, and that was the start of learning who I was as an Indigenous woman, and reclaiming reclaiming, like finding my name, finding what clan I'm from, you know, receiving my colors, going to ceremonies, sweat lodges, having pipe ceremonies, sunrise ceremonies, sun dances, full moon ceremonies, listening. You know, I'm always wanting to hear. Like I remember listening and hearing my mom and my dad talk their language, right? And that moment when I first heard them talk the language, it was just like my ears perked up, and I was like, oh my God, like I just sat in silence and listened to them, and they were having a conversation. And it's like, I don't have that. How come I don't have that? Because of what was done to me, right? I want that. I'm going to reclaim that. You know, it took me a long time to get to the point where I'm at now, to be comfortable and feel safe enough that I can do this like in my own time, in my own way, right? And you know, there's so many different people out there that have a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and teachings and history. We are rich with that, right? And that's that reconnection, you know, in learning. When you meet somebody and they're sharing a little bit of themselves with you, you take that with you, right? And, you know, a lot of times we do have to kind of, you know, we pick up stuff, but we can also put stuff down and pick something else up that will replace that hard stuff, right? We have that choice. And I think today people don't realize that they do have a choice. You know, we're standing up, we're being vocal, we're sounding our voice, right? And people are listening, right? And in doing that, you're able to honor yourself, honor your family, honor your ancestors. You know, you're just a small piece in the big scheme of things, right? You know, so it's learning as you continuously go along.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this Saturday, July 19th, 2023. Even when I'm told no, even when no one supports me, even when I'm lied to, even when people use excuses, even when people you looked up to disappoint you, even when folks try to scare you, even when people try to intimidate you, even when people threaten you, even when people try and guilt you into or out of something, even when people sit in judgment, even when people discourage you, even when I'm not wanted, even when I'm made to feel not invited, welcomed, or appreciated, even when I can feel the jealousy, even when people are afraid. I'll rock the boat even when people don't understand, even when people try to manipulate, even when people are worried of me speaking the truth, even when people try to silence my voice, even when I see through people, even when I'm told I'm too much, even when I'm told I'm not enough. From friends, family, acquaintances, strangers, systems, people who don't even know me continue to reflect back what most people don't want to see. With every look, word, emotion, energy, vibe, presence, you choose what to hold on to. Cherish, reject it, let it go. Tears, anger, hurt, pain, laughter, smiles, memories held in my heart. I can either teach you through laughter or tears, and sometimes a direct approach. It's either a blessing or a burden. We all have gifts. There'll always be a glimmer of hope, fleeting, passing moments. I will always believe in myself, pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep going. I don't have a choice. Even when I have no one, I'll always have myself. I'll always have me. I'm all I need, just me, me. Indigenous Miigwech.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Joanne. And we really want to thank you for sharing with us your wisdom, your perspective, your story. We are very, very thankful. It was wonderful to meet you. And just wanted to say that concludes today's episode of We Stand Together with Joanne Nimik. Let's all thank Joanne for sharing her story and for shedding light on the truth and being unapologetic with it. Thank you, Joanne.
Miigwech, thank you.